this might be the only camera that you need. So this little 3-axis gimbal is phenomenal. But in this video, I want to dive into everything I've learned along my journey of using this now for probably over 8 months. So recently I purchased myself the extra little knickknacks to make it the creator combo. When I originally got it, I just got the camera. The main thing I wanted was this, which is the battery attachment piece. It's basically just an additional piece that clicks into place and gives you a little bit more length, and also has an additional battery in here to get you even more juice when you're out and about shooting. I took this out on a day trip to get a few more clips. The camera system itself is so small for my hands in particular. I guess I have relatively large hands. I found that when I had it powered on, it just felt like it could slip at any point. So in the kit, you do get the attachment piece that just clips into the base here. And I would always have this on. So it gives you just a little bit more length, and I felt a little bit more comfortable using that. And then attaching on the DJI tripod onto the base, which you can then place down if you want to have some fixed shots. But just to have it like that, I found that I was able to use it like this, and it just felt more natural for me. So just keep that in mind. If you have large hands, you probably want the creator combo for the extra kit that you get in there. And that's like my first initial thought. I was blown away that they were able to get it this small. It really is phenomenal. With that being said, there's just 2 other little comments that I want to make you guys aware of, and that's the joystick and the record button. So both work perfectly fine, but again, they're so fiddly at times. These are just tiny gripes. And this is just because, again, I think I have larger hands that it maybe doesn't work ideally for me. Never really a major issue, but just occasionally I think, the joystick could just be a little bit larger, or could just have a little bit more travel. And then even the record button, it's great, but it is literally flush to the body. They're the few things that I think could be improved on for future editions, just to make it more accessible for everyone. For the majority of people, you're probably not going to care about it. You can pretty much just flip the screen on, point and shoot. And that's where this does excel. It's a 3-axis gimbal, so no matter what way you move, it's going to stabilize the footage. I give this to my partner quite frequently when we're out and about, and I'll just go, hey, can you just film me doing this? And it's so easy to do, you don't even have to think about it. But you have a bunch of features baked into the software that make it even more powerful. So you've got the spin shot mode, you've got a bunch of different tracking modes, there's slow motion, there's a 1-inch sensor, and you can capture 4K 60 frames per second HDR. That 1-inch sensor is gorgeous. It seems like it's kind of come across from maybe a drone across to this little portable factor here, but phenomenal across the board. The low light on this thing is insane. It's so good in any lighting condition. And I just find the way that the color science works here, every shot that I've captured with it has been great. Very rarely do we need to edit the footage. I find that it pops significantly, and it's got a bunch of different options baked in, like I said. In regards to the touchscreen here, this is a huge upgrade from previous models. It is a 2-inch touchscreen. It is an OLED screen, so very glossy, very bright in all sorts of lighting conditions, and quite responsive. Well, extremely responsive. It's great with anything that you put it through. Occasionally, it can just be a little bit fiddly to kind of scrub between the different videos or tap on different menus, again, because I have larger fingers. The other thing that's really cool is the focusing option. So you can go with continuous, so it's continuously searching for focus. So regardless where you're positioned, it's just going to have everything in focus. So you've got a few different focus modes. You've got single, continuous, and product showcase. Product showcase is very handy. Basically, anytime you bring a product close, it's going to focus in onto that product, and then you pull the product away, and it focuses in on everything. And I've been using this camera specifically for all of my Amazon videos. And it's so easy because I just put it on a tripod, and because it's a 3-axis gimbal, you can angle the camera down. You can slightly zoom in if you need to, put it on product showcase, and every time you bring the product up, it's going to focus in on that, and then everything in the background is going to be slightly blurred. And it does a great job in those kind of situations. I use that product showcase a lot when I'm doing my unboxing videos, and it does a phenomenal job. So if you are interested in the Osmo Pocket 3, I have some phenomenal deals for you guys. If you're based in Australia, make sure to use those links below. Go over to the D1 Store's website, which is DJI Australia, d1store.com.au. Use the code DansTube and you will save on most drones, cameras, and accessories over there on their website. But if you are based internationally, somewhere else outside of Australia, I will have some other links below as well. So make sure to check those out because there are some great deals there for my international audience. One of the most satisfying features of this entire unit is this flip out screen. It works really, really well, and it immediately powers on the unit. You got a few different options for what you want it to do when you flip it out. And also when you flip it back down, you can then press continue, and now it's going to shoot vertically. So I've got it at 3K resolution, 60 frames per second. And I've used this for a bunch of my vertical videos. There's one I did recently where I just took this out with me. I took a drone out with me. I went to this island that you can walk to locally, and I just plopped this down and got everything. And it looks so good. Like, the quality from this is phenomenal, and it's so easy to set up. And then you can just wirelessly sync up the microphone to the unit, so you don't even need anything else. And you got a full filming setup with great video quality, great audio quality. And I can just at any moment go from, okay, I've done some vertical video, now I'm just gonna flip it, and now we're shooting some landscape video. Another thing that I noticed recently that impressed the hell out of me actually was when I went to the local island recently, the wind was insane. It was like 30-kilometer winds, and the gusts were 42 kilometers. And there were points where I was out at a point so exposed completely to the ocean, and the wind was blowing so heavily I couldn't even hear the wind was that loud. And amazingly enough, it didn't affect the gimbal. Now that was an interesting test. I didn't really intentionally do that. I didn't really think too much about it, but some gimbals can be heavily affected by wind because the motor's then trying to counteract it, and sometimes you can get like jello effect or awkward movements, where this was rock solid. I was blown away that it was that stable in that kind of situation. But again, any sort of condition, low light situation, super windy, and it just works phenomenally well. The 1-inch sensor has really impressed me here. And we also get some pro features here. So we get 10-bit D-Log-M and HLG support. So that means that for post-production, we get even more playroom. Great if you want to get even more out of the image, and you can capture some amazing stuff here. Getting 10-bit from such a small unit, this thing is just minuscule. One thing actually that did surprise me is that I never had any overheating issues. I'll even use this for my main video. Sometimes I've just gone, I don't want to get out the big camera, I don't want to set it up, but I just chuck this on a tripod and film the entire video with the Osmo Pocket 3. And sometimes I'm filming for like 25 minutes or so. Never overheats, never stops on me, never has issues. The video quality is great, audio quality is great. Really good for that. And that's why I was saying this might be the only camera you need. By default, you get 166 minutes from the little unit itself, and it does support fast charging. Like I can plug it in, get the SD card out, copy the footage across. By the time I come back to it, it's fully charged. You know, I can drain it right down, come back and fully charge it up. So that's great. And then the additional battery just gives you even more juice again. So just for the standard, 166 minutes is phenomenal. They say that the battery handle actually increases battery life by over 60%. And the thing that's really cool is as you plug it in, there's a really nice battery overlay. So it pops up and lets you know how much charge you've got in the battery case, or the battery handle, sorry, and how much you've got in the unit, the Osmo Pocket 3. And what it seems to do is it seems to use the handle first. So it drains that, and then it goes over to the unit itself. So smart stuff there, because you can pretty much use the handle until it's completely depleted. And then if you have the means to, you can disconnect it, connect up the smaller one, for example, and then you've still got 100% on this guy. And then you just plug the battery handle in and charge that. You could just have a power bank with you. So you could just keep rotating, and you could get almost like, well, a whole day really of use. And it really is going to be reliable in any sort of situation. I absolutely love using the DJI Mic 2, and with the Creator Combo, you get it included. And like I said, wirelessly connects up. You don't have to worry about anything else. You just connect it up, works seamlessly. And you get like a little overlay, a little interface that shows you the audio levels. And on the Pocket 3, you do have 3 built-in microphones. It supports omnidirectional stereo sound recording. So you do get great audio just out of the unit itself. So that's great for most people. If we want to talk about travel again, you probably don't want to have a mic with you and narrate the entire experience. Maybe you do, I don't know. But for example, if you're just with your family, maybe you're not a travel vlogger and you just want to capture some moments, but you still want some decent audio of like little memories that are happening with your family or your kids or whatever, great for that. And then on top of that, you can obviously connect up the Mic 2. If you get the Creator Combo, you get it included, and then you're just getting even better audio again. Just to go a little deeper into the 1-inch sensor, it is a 20mm equivalent, and the f-stop is 2.0, so it's fixed aperture. That's why it can handle all sorts of lighting conditions. And you do have a standalone low light mode. So if you are in a particularly dark situation, you can just put it across to the low light mode and it will adjust to make the image pop even more. The thing that DJI seem to do really well is just combining hardware and software to make them communicate and work seamlessly. And so that's where some of these pro features work really well. So if we talk about the Active Track, right? Active Track 6.0 we're up to now, phenomenal. Face detection, it can automatically detect your face, it can start tracking you. And this is where it works seamlessly. You can just pass it to your partner, camera, make sure that the face tracking is enabled or face detect, and it's going to follow you. They don't even have to worry about it. They can just hold it roughly in your direction and the camera is going to do everything else for you. So they've made it to a point where you do have a bunch of pro features. You can unlock more with that 10-bit. You can play around with all the different pro modes and adjust all the settings and do all sorts of things that you need to do. But you can even just leave it in auto and just hand it to anyone who has no knowledge about cameras at all, and they can capture high quality video for you without even skipping a beat. And then you also can connect it up over to your phone, and then you can have that full experience. You can even get all these sorts of accessories now where you have your phone connected onto like a rig. There's so many accessories for this. I've done a bunch of videos on the channel showcasing all the cool accessories you can get. Also, when it comes to ND filters, and there's like macro lenses and all sorts of things now, anamorphic lenses, they're all magnetically connected. So you just pop them on magnetically, take them off. You can stack lenses, so you can put two magnetic lenses on top of each other to capture even more unique perspectives. There's just so much customization here, and there's a lot of support in the community. DJI have supported it with a bunch of accessories, but the community has gone over and above. I think that this is a little bit of a crowd favorite right now. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's using this as their primary camera. I actually see this out and about a fair bit. If I go and do a day trip somewhere, I'm typically seeing people with a Pocket 3. I went to Stradbroke Island. I saw 3 of these getting around. So my thoughts haven't changed significantly since I originally reviewed this. There have been a lot of updates recently to it and a lot of like support improvements. So the autofocus is even better than ever. You can now use this as a 4K web camera, which is phenomenal. The other thing to keep in mind, actually, if I want to film myself, I can just triple tap the joystick and now it's facing me. And then I can just use the joystick to move the camera. Where if it's a phone, I have to like awkwardly move the tripod around. So that's where this becomes even more useful than a phone. A lot of people have said that a phone does the job. I think that this goes over and above, especially for those top-down unboxing videos, especially for any sort of situation where you want to film yourself. Perfect. So the Osmo Pocket 3 has to be my favorite camera system of 2024. I reckon it's going to hold that crown for a very long time, but a lot of people are obsessed with this. A phenomenal travel camera, a great all-round camera. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. The Osmo Pocket 3 is a must-have. If you haven't used it, get your hands on one, check it out. It is phenomenal and it does everything you could ever imagine. You get the creator combo, the next level up, you get the microphone, you get the battery handle, you get the tripod. Great system. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.